Morning viewers, welcome to Pragnya Academy Detailed News Analysis. Today we will see about a very interesting, a very tensed situation that's been happening in Bangladesh. Also, we will be discussing how this particular issue is going to imply on our India internal security, India's external security, as well as India's trade, India's investments, and most importantly, after all, the humanitarian challenges that India is going to face it. Because this is not the first time that Bangladesh has been into crisis. So we will see in detail about whatever happened so far. Also, I'll give you a certain backgrounder of what exactly has happened in the past when it comes to Bangladesh history, so that you can better relate the events that's happening right now and what is going to be the possible future as well. So, just to give you the brief headlines, what's happening in Bangladesh? There has been protests since last 2 months, student protests mainly. It was on something called job quota. So, what was this job quota that Bangladesh has been complaining against? So, the complaint is mainly the reservation, the quota. The students, most of the universities has been on the streets carrying out. Uh, it has led into a violent protest as well. So, what was the issue? The issue is 30% of the civil service examination jobs have been reserved. Various, not only civil services at the center, but also the services at the states and various provinces have been reserved for the freedom fighters, veterans. So, who are these freedom fighters? These are not the British freedom fighters here. In fact, these 30% for the children and grandchildren of the freedom fighters, those who fought in the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. So, why was the reason that particular reservation has been given? I will touch upon those topics as well. Not only that, apart from the 10% reservation has been there for women, 10% for underdeveloped districts. So, in and all, so around 56% of the seats have been reserved for uh, various categories, and only 44% has been reserved for the general category. So, having said this, right now in the last 2 months, the main issue is the contest or the protest was mainly towards this particular 30% of the reservation. So, which is that reservation? This is the one that they are contesting for. So, most of the university student unions and the opposition parties, the like India, in even in Bangladesh, there are political parties. Like, say for example, Awami League is the ruling party, BNP, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, Awami League, and one more political party. It was more than political party, which was banned from contesting in elections since 2013, that I'm going to explain that also in detail, is Jamaat-e-Islami Bangladesh. So the most of these have their student unions as well. So they are the ones who are protesting. Apart from Awami League, other political parties, opposition parties, their student unions, everyone have been onto the streets and have been protesting. So the reason is they don't want this particular reservation. So, uh, as the protests have gone out of control, as the government is unable to take these protests into control, I think in the last week of July, the Supreme Court have announced or struck down this particular quota. So it has struck down this particular quota indeed, and it was brought down to 5%. And then what happened? The student protests have all paused. They stopped. They went back to their normal routine. And again, all of a sudden, again the students' protest started. The reason there was that they wanted all the they wanted the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to publicly apologize to all the students who have been harassed during these protests, who have been illegally arrested. Illegally, in the sense, there were violence to bring law and order into control, they have arrested. So, having said that, so the latest protests revolved around apology, demanding an apology from the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. So, but the Prime Minister and her party has been very stubborn, trying to show up a iron hand onto the protesters, which led to the killings of around 300 to 400 estimated casualties during these protests. So, as the protests turned violent, the student unions called for a march onto the Prime Minister's house. So, having perceived this, the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, with the persuasion from their family members, decided to submit the resignation, to resign and flee the country. And we all know what happened. She was received in India. She was received in India, and she is currently residing in Delhi. So the I'm not going to talk about her more details about the current stay in Delhi. She asked for an asylum in UK, which UK, it seems like UK has rejected it. So giving what is the next possibility that might happen? So here you can see, well, India, on the other hand, conducted an all party meeting on Bangladesh crisis. This is the first development that happened. Not only this, our External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has openly stated or say made a clear official statement in the parliament demanding all parties to stand one to ensure that Bangladesh once again get back to the law and order, get back to the peace, and the humanitarian crisis that's been happening gets reduced. Also, yes, Jay Shankar, you can also watch it in the YouTube or the TV channels. They have been uh, telecasting the speech that S. Jaishankar has given in the parliament as well. So the idea behind here is that it is also observed. There was also specifically mention about the minorities' safety and security inside the Bangladesh. So especially the Hindus and Christians, their properties, their lives, their families are under threat. Certain sections. So it is also observed, and the uh, External Affairs Minister has made a passing remark on that as well. So coming back here, what is happening in the Bangladesh? What is the next step that's been happening here? The government has announced, or say the military head, the armed forces chief, has announced that there will be an interim government. So, what is the job of this interim government? They will form a small temporary government. Interim government, more or less like a temporary government. Its job is to facilitate a proper elections, and then until the next elected government forms, this will carry out the duties of the government instead of directly getting onto a military role. So they will be like a interim government. So this person under the advisor, who will be the advisor for this interim government? The Nobel Peace Laureate Muhammad Yunus. So who's this Muhammad Yunus? We all know it. We would have studied in our economics classes. But again to say it, so he was awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize towards his contributions towards microfinancing. Microfinancing is the main thing for the grassroots level financing to ensure that proper loans, proper finances reach the villages, reach the rural poor as well as the urban poor, so that they don't get into the clutches of these money lenders, high interest rates. They don't get into these debt traps. So he was also the founder of the Bangladesh Grameen Bank. So which India also emulated through self-help groups, through microfinances, through Grameen banks. So we also have seen in India. So all of them have been inspired from the ideas of Muhammad Yunus. Having said this, this person is also believed to be more, we cannot say it as a uh, representative, but more sharing the ideological interests of that of the United States. So it is believed that US CIA has been backing Muhammad Yunus in this regard. So that's why in the Bangladesh protests, in the Bangladesh latest crisis, Indian government or many Indian channels have also been observing, have made a remarks saying that there are external interference, foreign interference in this crisis. So some conspire that there has been CIA involvement in the crisis. CAA has been funding, CAA has been the brainchild behind it. Not only that, it is also observed that Pakistan's ISI, Inter Services Intelligence, has also been part of it, has also actively involved in it to bring down, to step down the Sheikh Hasina government. Also, it is observed, or say some remarks have been made, that China also has been involved actively in the Bangladesh latest protests. So, whatever is the truth, the fact is that the Sheikh Hasina's government has stepped down, interim government is going to be formed, and fresh elections are going to happen. So, then here one might also ask, just in the month of January this year, elections took place, and Awami League, led by Sheikh Hasina, has won with absolute majority. But the problem is that that particular elections were boycotted by the main opposition party BNP. What is BNP? Bangladesh Nationalist Party. It is headed by the Sheikh Hasina's arch rival Khalida Zia. So who's this Khalida Zia? I'll talk about her in some time. Also, not only this election, she also boycotted last general elections as well. So, in other words, without any opposition, Bangladesh has been under the Awami League's rule, Sheikh Hasina's rule, for nearly 15 years till now. Now all the gates were set for the next 5 years as well. That is for up to 2020, for up to 2029. It is believed that Sheikh Hasina was supposed to rule, but all these things happened in between. In the next, within few months of Awami League's latest election results. So now, what is this background? After this, Sheikh Hasina stepped down. One more thing happened was Khalida Zia was released from house arrest. She was under house arrest for a very long time. This is the lady that I was talking about, Khalida Zia. So she was under house arrest and she was released immediately. Not only that, many protesters who were arrested, who were detained in these last few months have also been released. And most importantly, in the last 10 years, there has been trials against war criminals. There has been trials against war criminals. I'll talk about that. What are those criminals, and the 1975 issue that took place in Bangladesh. So, to talk about all of these people, I must also tell you about another political party. Apart from BNP, I was telling about this one. There was another political party, Jatiya Party, led by Muhammad Irshad or other people and his wife. But that particular political party is not much active right now. So the one that has been in news, that has been under the controversy, is this one, Jamaati Islami, Bangladesh. This was a political party up to 2013. So in the year 2013, this particular political party has been banned from contesting elections, and many of the important uh, people who have occupied important posts in these particular political party have also been arrested. And that is when this particular one, Jamaati Islami, has been actively participating in politics through its student wing. What is its student wing called? It is called Islami Chhatra Shibir. So I think you would have also seen somewhere. I'll show you in the next uh, graphics. So the point here is, its student wing is called Islamic Chhatra Shibir. So what happened was, in the last few months, this particular, it's like a student union, whatever we have, like ABVP, we have many other Congress led student unions, CPI led student unions. So every political party, like regional political parties also in India, have student unions. TDP has student unions here. TRS, BRS have student unions. So every political party have their own student unions. Likewise, here the student union that has been actively part of these protests is Islamic Chhatra Shibir. So this particular student union has won elections in every university, in almost all the important universities in the last 7 8 months. And these are the same people who have mobilized these quota protests. So the background for Sheikh Hasina's protests, the downfall started with this particular Islamic Chhatra Shibir, which is part of Jamaati Islami, has been winning elections, has been preparing ground for the past many months. So, why did I tell about it? This particular is Jamaati Islami. You can see here, not just Bangladesh, it has its presence in Pakistan. It also have active students union in Pakistan called Islami Jamaati Taliba. Apart from that, it also has links with many of the global organizations like Hamas. It also has links with many terrorist organizations as well. So this is with respect to Jamaati Islami. So this also has some past. It's not just that it has come up in the last 10 years or 15 years. It has been there since Bangladesh independence and or even before Bangladesh liberation from West Pakistan. So what exactly was happening was, I'll show you. In the past, going back, if you say before 1970s, after 1947, when India got independence and Pakistan also got independence, we know that Pakistan has West Pakistan and East Pakistan. There were two areas. West East Pakistan is mainly, it has a slightly more population even compared to West Pakistan at that point of time. So having said this, what happened between 19 between 1947 and 1970? What led to the creation of Bangladesh, what led to the liberation of Bangladesh is what developments that took place between 1947 and 1970. So the idea behind was, or say the main reasons were, West Pakistan used to uh, utilize all the resources and not giving enough share to the East Pakistan. That was one issue. Second one was, politically, West Pakistan was given more representation compared to East Pakistan. And on top of it, economic funds, West Pakistan utilized more funds compared to East Pakistan. And then socially, what happened was, West Pakistan tried to eradicate Bengali culture, the Bengali language, and the Bengali brotherhood that existed in the East Pakistan. So it tried to impose the cultural dominance or hegemony as well as the social hegemony against East Pakistan. So those who opposed this, they were treated brutally. They were killed, they were tortured, and I'll show you some of the scenes that happened during this time. And the climax, not only that, what happened one the during this time was, the Awami League in 1969 or 1970 general elections won the majority seats in the parliament, but they were denied to become prime minister. This is the climax of that. So they formed something called Mukti Bahini, which is the main force which started revolting against West Pakistan. And then, to curb these protests, whatever the protests that started in East Pakistan through various unions, through various political parties, or the Mukti Bahini that I was talking about, all these protests were brutally suppressed by Pakistan's army, West Pakistan's army, through its operation called Operation Searchlight. So it is some many historians consider it as a brutal genocide of everyone who opposed the West Pakistan culture, West Pakistan ideology, West Pakistan language, and whatnot, every particular thing. So you can see here it led this particular operation Searchlight when before India get into a full-fledged war with West Pakistan. Nearly 3 lakh to 3 million people estimated were killed during this Operation Searchlight, and 2 lakh to 4 lakh Bengali women were raped and tortured. Their properties were taken. So there it is considered some by some as an extreme genocide. And then India got into involvement here, and it became an India Pakistan war more than Bangladesh or Mukti Bahini versus West Pakistan war. It became like a India Pakistan war. So this is what happened in 1971, which is known as the Indo-Pak war or the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971, where the winners you can see India, Bangladesh, and the Soviet. The losers Pakistan, United States, United Kingdom, China, Sri Lanka, Iran. So all these countries participated. It's a very interesting story how India and Soviet Union collaborated to tactically get dominance and complete surrender, unconditional surrender of Pakistan and its allies during that time. So that happened in 19, that is the output or the result of 1971 war, Bangladesh Liberation War. So the next thing that also happened during this time was the United States. United States as well as this Pakistan have armed, have given funds to the organization or to the political party that we were discussing, which is known as Jamaati Islami. Zamati Islami. Then, because before 1971, it was one Pakistan, there was no Bangladesh. So they used to call it as Zamati Islami Pakistan. So they used to call it as Zamati Islami Pakistan. So this particular organization was armed to its fullest, funded to its fullest by Pakistan and US to fight against Mukti Bahini, to fight against India. So India fought against Pak forces as well as these organizations during that time. So that's why I said Zamati Islami has a very long past. So that's why in the latest involvements, Zamati Islami Bangladesh, when they were participating, it was expected that ISI has been the full fledged ideological support as well as the political support, economic support, defense support that has been giving to Zamati Islami student organization, Islamic Shatra Shibers, whatever they are there. Muhammad Yunus has been very vocal in calling all these protests as student protests. He could not recognize, or he willfully has been ignoring the fact that these student unions, in the name of student unions, the entire protests were hijacked by ISI. That I'm not sure if he knows it and willfully ignoring it for various reasons, or he definitely is ignorant of it. So the next thing that happened was 1971. We all know the result. Bangladesh was formed, a new nation was formed. But immediately in the year 1975, the main head of the Awami League, which led to the Bangladesh liberation, that is Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He is the father of Sheikh Hasina, the current prime minister, the former prime minister who just fled to India. So the entire family of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman has been assassinated in a military coup in the year 1975. You can see here that is the starting point of all destabilization in Pakistan. Sorry, Bangladesh. You can see more coups in Bangladesh than Pakistan. So immediately within 2 3 months, the one who formed the government. Major Rahman and Major Rashid is overthrown by the Brigadier Khalid Moshraf. And 9 November 1975, same month, Muhammad Moshraf was killed by soldiers. And then General Ziaur Rahman took place. Took the power. And immediately within few months, within few years, in 1981, Ziaur Rahman has been assassinated. He was also assassinated. So the Khalida Zia that I was mentioning, who was released from house arrest immediately after the Sheikh Hasina stepped down, is the wife of Ziaur Rahman, this person. So that's why I said he was also the one of the. So you can see all these people, the family of Sheikh Hasina, Sheikh Musbir Rahman has been killed, was killed in the 1975 coup d'etat. And here you can see these are the masterminds behind the attack. Ziaur Rahman and Khalid Moshraf. Khalid Moshraf was killed in the same year, and Ziaur Rahman was killed by the same armed forces in the year 1981. Khalida Zia, that's why I said Sheikh Hasina and Khalida Zia, they are arch rivals. They are more like an enemies uh, in terms of Bangladesh politics. So you can see here what happened 1975, 1981, and then 1982, 2007 caretaker government. So lot of instability, more than political democratic regimes. There has been undemocratic regimes that ruled Bangladesh. So that's why in the last 15 years there was more stability. So opposition political parties boycotted, Awami League has been in the rule, but it has resulted in a lot of stability since 2009, since Awami League started for a long term rule. So it is the son of Sheikh Hasina, he was giving the interviews in which he was saying Sheikh Hasina has been very strong in bringing entire Bangladesh from an underdeveloped country to a developing or a middle income group country, one side, and on the other side, it has taken the government has taken millions of people out of poverty. So these are all the things that Sheikh Hasina was uh, being praised for. Many in India also, whenever there has been some criticisms against ruling party comes, many people say that Bangladesh per capita income, Bangladesh human development index, Bangladesh growth rate have all been more than India. So these kind of things, comparisons have all been coming up. But the idea behind is Sheikh Hasina has brought that stability. But the problem was in the last 15 years, it is an undeniable fact that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. This has equally been true with respect to Sheikh Hasina's government. 15 years without opposition, when the rule has been going on, it requires utmost sacrifices not to get induced by this power. But the political party cadre, the entire cadre within Awami League, there has been a perpetuation of corruption. Corruption, in the words of Muhammad Yunus, in the latest interview, he was saying that army corruption, political organizations or political process corrupted, police corrupted, law and order corrupted, public posts, public services corrupted. So everywhere you can see a lot of corruption. That is also one of the undeniable ground fact that one should look at it. So it's not that foreign forces, whether it is ISI or Chinese forces or the uh, CIA, can directly take advantage of it. Only if you have some problem, those people, that gives a space, that gives the room for these foreign forces, foreign agents to take advantage of. So the next thing, what is happening in India? So in India, all parties meeting was conveyed, and S Jaishankar was briefing. You can see the visuals here. And Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, and all the regional parties also participated it in the meeting, and all of them are more or less have unanimous agreed opinions. Because you can see, only with especially with respect to Bangladesh, The ruling party and opposition party both support and both want similar governments in Bangladesh. It's not that BJP wants Awami League, Congress wants BNP or something else. Because you can see Rahul Gandhi's grandmother, Indira Gandhi, was the main force behind 1971 Bangladesh liberation. And the Sheikh Hasina, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Sheikh Hasina's father, and Indira Gandhi share unique political bond. So a strong bond has been established by the Congress government at that point of time. That's why in the ruling party currently BJP has also have the similar opinions that Sheikh Hasina and Awami League is pro-India. If you take Bangladesh BNP, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, or Jatiya Party, or Jamaati Islami, all of them will become immediately within no time. They all will become puppets in the hands of Pakistan as well as China. So, what are the broader implications? These are the things that happened in the last few months and the current situation. So, what are its implications on India? India, as of now, if you take the situation of India, India has extremely volatile neighborhood. More or less, it is like a hostile neighborhood. Not only there has been instability in the neighborhood, but coming to the relationship with India with of these countries will also go through a very rough patch in the next few months or even years. Because if you take Pakistan, we know almost all weather, all year, it will be hostile. Now, coming to the Nepal, very recently, Nepal has changed its prime minister, KP Oli has become the prime minister. He is also the one who is mainly the China's puppet who unilaterally changes maps between India and the Nepal border, and all of these things are happening. And then Bangladesh, what is happening right now. Now Awami League in nowhere near term is going to get back to power. So you can see even if the interim government comes and then fresh elections come and then new government comes, you will only see BNP or Jatiya Party or Jamaati Islami or all the coalition, they might get into power. So wherein they will be more close to Pakistan, China, or other countries more than India. Definitely, that is for sure. That is going to happen. But it takes extraordinary efforts to, or say, extraordinary mature Bangladesh government to have strong, good relations with India. Whichever party that might come, it should realize that the only neighborhood, the biggest neighborhood that Bangladesh has to deal is India. So by denying India, Bangladesh can do nothing. It is its own danger. So therefore, a matured government should realize and maintain very good relations with India. There is no doubt about it. But let's wait and see what is going to happen. And Myanmar, we all know since last few years, the democratically elected government has been overthrown and military rule is there. Not only military rule, there are 3 4 armed forces, armed groups controlling different areas, and China's involvement here is very high. China's involvement here is very high. Now Maldives, we know what happens in Maldives. Moizu government has come up, and it has first visit he did was with Turkey. Every time Maldives, whenever new government elects, new prime minister swans in, the first visit they do is India. So this time it is Turkey. It is a very like an irritant to the India Maldives relation, and then to China, and then he started visiting India. Sri Lanka, we know it is trying to balance relations with India, China, all these were happening. Only the Bhutan has been in a cordially, a friendly, and a very strong, good relations with India as of now. So it's like if whatever that can go wrong with between India and its neighbors has happened already. It has got to the rough patch that I said. So in this way, you will more have the international problems, challenges that India is going to face in the next few months or next few years. Apart from that, there are internal security challenges that might also come up. From Bangladesh, many Pakistan and Chinese forces infiltrate, might infiltrate. That's why immediately, whatever happened in the latest period after Sheikh Hasina's fleeing, our border forces all have been under high alert. They have already been alerted, and the northeastern states should be very careful about it. So if the things goes worse in Bangladesh, this chicken neck that we know will also be under threat. So India has been very careful. India has been very vocal about it. India has been very vocal about our chicken neck uh, to safeguard its interests. And then, with respect to the economic and trade relations, also many importers in Bangladesh who are importing from India, they have not paid since last few weeks. There is no, there is a, there are they are running out of money. And we also know that many Indian businesses have invested in hospitals, infrastructure, power plants. All these are, we should wait and see what is going to happen to all these investments. So, and most importantly, Bangladesh is going through a phase of hyperinflation. So, inflation is affecting Bangladesh big time, and it will run out of forex reserves, and they will not be able to pay to its imports, especially imports that comes from India. So there are many more challenges to come up. We will see in the future videos, future analysis. We'll stop this session here. Thank you all for listening to the session. Thank you. All the best.